Hello, my friends on YouTube. Today is February 22nd, 2021. Today, I would like to speak about an interesting subject that it happened in the past and it's happening again today. Losing our rightful rights under Islam and today. There is a certain parallel of what happened 1400 years ago and under Muhammad, the founder of the Islamic ideology, or the whatever you call it. I don't call it a religion. I call it an ideology. So, as I mentioned before, Muhammad was not, even though he was illiterate, he was not stupid. Okay? So he actually put certain steps to achieve his dominion. He wanted to have total dominion over the whole world and over humanity. So he took certain steps, and I'm talking about this because I can see certain repetition in human history and taking the very same steps again. I may be wrong, but that's my opinion. And look, if YouTube wants to ban me, I'm already working on making another account elsewhere, and once it's done, I will let everyone know. But reality is we cannot stop. None of us should stop. We have the right to speak. That's the First Amendment in the United States Constitution, is to speak your mind. Okay, freedom of the press also. Even though I'm not a journalist, but hey, that's my press for or my service to humanity. Uh, so it is it's our right, and if we don't use it, we lose it. I experienced that shutting of the mouth and shutting of the mind in different countries, and I don't want to see it here, although it already started. So I hope we are not late, and I encourage everyone, whatever you can do, do it. I know there is certain risk and there is certain danger in doing that. However, I'm not asking you to risk your life, but if you want to risk your life for freedom, it's worth it. It's actually worth it. For me, I would prefer to die standing than live on my knees. So, today we'll talk about what Muhammad did in the past and how it is repeated today in the present time, and how I hope we can learn a lesson and stop that. Okay, in the past, normally, and this I met in the early 80s, 1980s, with a man. His name was Sir John Noble, and he was from the UK. And this man was incarcerated in East Germany, and then he went to Russia. His father was a businessman in Germany, in East Germany, and somehow he ended up in one of the concentration camp of the Soviet Union, and President Reagan managed to get him out. And this man, he told me horror stories about what happened to him and how the Soviet were trying to shut everybody, uh, all opinions. Hitler did the same thing. Muhammad started. I wouldn't say Muhammad started. This is actually from before Muhammad. But however, Muhammad knew how to apply this system very well. Okay, that evil. We have to call things by its name. Muhammad was not the first evil person, but he was an evil person. Okay? So, Muhammad understood how to manipulate people and get them to do what he wanted them to do. And that is, as I always say, he was not stupid. He was illiterate, but he was not stupid. He was a genius in a way. He could actually rise to the level of a genius. So he understood that the people of Arabia, there were two types of people in Arabia at the time of Muhammad. The merchants, who were very wealthy people, and whatever they wanted, they could have with ease. Okay? And those who are living there because they have no choice. So those who lived there, who didn't have any choice, also they were divided into two segments. One, it was the outlaws, those who will rob caravan and stuff like that, and they were mainly out of the main city or town, whether it's Mecca or Medina. And those who are trying to make a living one way or another, sometimes they go to bed hungry, or if they had a bed, they sleep hungry. Muhammad was one of these people who oftentimes slept hungry. Okay? He started by working as a shepherd, and just, it doesn't take a genius to understand this. When you go to, let's say, in the Nevada desert, or in the Australian desert, or in the Sahara desert in Africa, in any desert, okay, how many sheep and goat can you really have them graze around in such environment? How much the environment would support how many animals, how much water for these animals? Practically very few. Very, very few. So if he was a shepherd, probably he had 2 goats and a sheep and a couple of chicken. That's it. I mean, how much will you pay a person who's taking care of these 2 sheep? Probably a meal every day. So he was hungry, he was very poor, but he was not yet a thief. Okay? But he saw the bandit, the people who are living outside the city. Their situation was much, much better, because they could go and rob a caravan, and they can buy wine, they can buy food, they can have women, they have money. Okay? And he knew that the desire of the people living, working in these kind of jobs, taking as shepherd or whatever, housemate or something. Housemate, if it's a girl, she was a servant and she could be subjected to sexual abuse, and there was no laws back then. I mean, she's a maid and may as well use her if I want. So he saw all that. And when he saw all that, his desire always was actually food, enough water, pure water, because the water that it was extracted from underground, it was really filthy until today. Okay? Unhealthy water, unclean water. So there was practically no food, no proper food, and no water. So life was miserable in that 900 degrees temperature. It's not pleasant. So he knew that these thieves had it easier. And he knew the heart and the mind of those around him is to have an easy life and to have sex. Because for these people, no one was interested in them, to marry them or to give their daughter to any of them. Muhammad was one of them. Actually, when he wanted to marry his cousin, one of his uncle's daughter, his uncle couldn't believe that he had the guts to ask him to marry his daughter. That how bad it was. Okay, so Muhammad was deprived of everything, not just food, but also his dignity as a human. So that was not his case only. The people around him of his class were like that. So he started to tempt them with the religion that he made up. Okay? And in that religion there will be rivers of pure water, milk, honey, fruits of all kinds that you never even seen before, dates and grapes and all kind of goodies. So some of these very needy people, dirt poor people, hey, it's a good promise. What do we lose? At least in the next life we'll have something. So they started to follow him. However, the wealthy people, the merchant, when you tell them you will have grapes and honey, they always have grapes and honey in their homes. They're wealthy. They can get it any price. These people were extremely wealthy. The merchant. So honey and grapes and all that stuff is like, what are you trying to tempt me with? Women also, if they needed women, back then, I'm not saying this was right, but back then there was slave markets. So they can get any woman, black, white, yellow, they had from all, it's an open market. Okay, and wealthy women actually used to also buy male slaves. Okay, Khadija was a wealthy woman. She was a merchant. I don't know if I should say she bought Muhammad, but anyway, it's something to think about. Okay? So, Muhammad understood the situation of the people, understood what's going on. So he started to tempt these people. And then when he migrated to Medina, he formed an army. And then the message became jihad. Jihad. Here, when you succeed in a battle, you will loot. You will have money. And with this money, you can buy whatever you want. You will possess the money of the people that you conquer. You will possess the women of the people you conquer. You will possess the children of the people you conquered. You can sell them. You can use them in any way you want, including sexually. And when you have people living in this very impoverished situation, when you promise them that they will have food as much as they want, and women whom they were before, no one is interested in them, now they will have as many women as they want. So he understood their mentality and he played on that. So when you have a person knowing, okay, if I succeed in this battle, I will have wealth and women, and I will fulfill my sexual desire more and more. And if I die, I will have more women in the other life. It's a good deal for a person who is who doesn't have enough to eat every day. It's a good deal. So many of these people joined him. Okay, in the beginning in Mecca, he managed to get these very poor people around him. But when he went to Medina, he got the thieves to join him, those who made living from attacking caravans. And then he became a person who will actually uh, rob caravans. And he became very wealthy. And he established that idea of jihad. He made it religious. Okay? And people will go out. They started by, it's exactly what's happening. They started by the Jews in Arabia because they were wealthy, they were working hard, they accumulated wealth one generation after another. So they became very wealthy, and they take care of their families, their children. The Jews at this time, they actually used to send their children to Persia to study. Like what we say today, they send them to get a master degree or a PhD in Persia, in Rome, in Greece. So these people had very well educated children. They themselves, the merchant, they were very, very well educated. And when you get a person like Muhammad, who didn't know how to read or write, trying to convince them that he had something worth a while, it's a joke. It's a joke. Practically, it's a joke. They only gave in when he came with the sword. He came back to Mecca with the sword. Before, they told him, get lost. But when he came back with the sword, yeah, okay, I will listen to that. I'm with you. So that my daughter will not be raped. My wife will not be raped. That's the history of Muhammad. Today is now repeated. Socialism, communism is repeating the same thing. You have many lazy people who don't want to work. And when the government here, the ideology of Muhammad or socialism, similar, same, promise them, like this guy, what was his name, Andrew, the Chinese heritage guy, the one from Chinese heritage who was running for president, Andrew something, Andrew Young, I believe. Anyway, he wanted to have, he wanted to give $1,000 to each adult. Okay, where will you get this money? $1,000 for each person over 18. It sounds good, but actually, okay, if I get $1,000, then I don't have to work as hard. And if my father left me some, like a house that I can rent it out or something, then I just sit home and watch TV. I don't have to work. And that's practically, if any of you went to visit a communist country, people don't see any reason to work. They pretend they are working, and that's why their situation is they are always poor. The Soviet Union, until early 90s, they were dirt poor. But when they broke away from this ideology, it became different. Okay? So the government, I'm speaking about America because America really influenced the whole world. And whatever happened in America, it permeates in the whole world. So if America turned into socialist communist, it's very much similar to turning into the Islamic jihadis took over. It's actually worse. Okay? So today, the government is intruding on so many things in a very subtle way. Muhammad probably he was not as subtle. Okay, but the government now, especially in America, I'm sure in all other countries, okay, when you have the tech giants now uh, silencing everybody, okay? When you have the government starting to invent something or hire a guy to mass shoot children, and then they tell you gun violence. We have to take guns away. Remember that all dictators, whether it is in the East or the West, Mao, before he took over, he stripped people from the right to defend themselves. He took their guns. Hugo Chavez in Venezuela, before he took over, he made sure to take all firearms from the good citizen. North Korea, wherever you go, this they secure first. They shut you up, the First Amendment. They prevent you from protecting yourself. They tell you, we will protect you. We will send you the police when somebody's shooting at you. By the time the police come, you're already dead. But give us all these evil guns. The evil guns, give it to us. We'll take care of you. This, we are losing our rights. And these rights is not our rights because it's in the Constitution. If you think this is our right because it's in the American Constitution, you are making a big mistake. This is human right to speak your mind. This is your human right to defend yourself. These are not American rights. These are given right at birth. If you believe in God, it's God-given right. If you don't believe in God, it's human rights. Everyone should be able to defend himself. Everyone should be able to speak his mind. Okay? Now, the government is stripping us of these rights slowly but surely. They got Sloppy Joe in office, and he's a senile guy. He really doesn't know what the hell is going on. I honestly think he's not aware. They put him a speech to read, and he reads it, and very good. But reality is, this guy, he's unaware of what he's doing. He's told what to do. And there is a machine that it is controlling everything that it is happening. You're not allowed to say there was some fishy stuff going during the election to put him elected, and nobody can really examine how many voting poll were examined. Hardly any. Why? If you are clean, if you didn't do anything wrong, if it was really fair and square, if I didn't steal anything, I would say I didn't steal. No, you have it in your home. Okay, get a court order and come and check my home. I didn't steal anything. But no one be open and honest. And the thing is, because there is a plan to strip us from our rights to a point that we become like a new Soviet Union. They are the elites and the commoners. And if there are so many commoners, as Chairman Mao did, you can kill few. Kill 1 billion or 2, it doesn't matter. So I'm not saying that to make anybody heavy, but we really need to wake up. I know waking up or speaking or doing something, it is risky. But if we don't take risk now, there will be no chance to take any risk. We thank you very much. We appreciate your attention. We hope to hear from you. And if you can share, I appreciate that. Thank you very much.